Hello everyone, my name is V from IELTS Speaking. In this video, we're going to talk about the topic of helping people. Particularly, there will be a part 2 topic and I will provide you with high-scoring vocabulary to deal with the questions one by one. Let's get started. The topic for today is describe a situation when you helped someone. What the situation was, who the person was, how you helped them, and explain how you felt after helping that person. Notice the use of the past simple tense in the questions in the topic. And it's obviously because this topic asks you about a past event, a past action, something you did in the past. You can use other tenses if you have to, but don't forget that the past simple tense is the dominant tense in this topic. To answer the first two questions, which are what the situation was and who you helped, personally, I think we need to answer actually 4 questions. Who you helped, when and why you helped that person, and what problem or difficulty that person was in. You can start off by talking about when you helped someone and how you knew about the situation. For example, you can say, well, quite a while back, or not so long ago, a friend of mine turned to me for help, or a friend of mine asked me for a favor, and I couldn't or I didn't want to turn my back on him. Quite a while back means quite a long time ago, and the opposite phrase is not so long ago. Turn to someone for something. That means you come to someone and you ask for help or advice. Ask me for a favor, ask somebody for a favor means ask somebody for help. Turn your back on somebody means you refuse to help somebody. Or you can say, well, I read about this situation in a newspaper a few years ago, or not so long ago, or quite a while back, and I couldn't hold my tears, or I was moved, I was heavy-hearted, and I decided to help. I decided to do something about it without hesitation. Hold my tears means try not to cry. To be moved means to be really emotional. Heavy-hearted is an adjective that means very sad. To do something about something else means to take actions to solve a problem. Without hesitation means immediately. One thing you should avoid is complicated situations, heroic actions, something that is really big that only superheroes can do, for example. Instead, try to think quite simply about very familiar and common situations, such as helping a visually impaired old lady who was trying to cross the street, a disabled beggar, a homeless child selling lottery tickets, or a miserable street vendor. Visually impaired means blind. Disabled means not able to use some body parts as effectively or normally as other people. A beggar is a very poor person, without any house, without money, and has to ask other people for money. A miserable street vendor is a really poor one. Or you can talk about helping victims of a disastrous storm in central Vietnam, which had flooded property and shut down all the public utilities. Disastrous is the adjective of disaster, which means causing a lot of damage or harm. Public utilities are services such as electricity and gas that are necessary for our daily use. To rough it means to to live temporarily in very bad conditions. And in this case, I mean no sanitary water. That means no clean water, sanitary. No electricity and no food, or food deprivation. Deprivation is the state of not having something. In addition, you can talk about something like helping a classmate who was struggling with a subject or any other academic problems, or helping recruit your new colleague who was unfamiliar with the business culture or the work environment in the company to fit in. A recruit is a person who has just been employed. To fit in means to get on with people and to be familiar with the surrounding environment. Question number 3, how you helped. If you did some charity, it's likely that you provided some financial and or spiritual support. And here are some vocabularies that can be useful for you. Raise funds. As you know, a fund is an amount of money that's used for a particular purpose. Notice that in this phrase, funds is always in the plural form. Raise funds. Or you can call for your family or your friends' donations. To call for means to ask people to join you, to do something with you. Donations. Donation is an amount of money or some goods like clothes or rice or any other kind of food that are used for charity. Or you may visit somebody to lift his or her spirits. To lift somebody's spirits means to make somebody happier, more optimistic, and hopeful. Tide somebody over means to do something for somebody or to provide somebody with something, money, for example, so that that person can survive a difficult period of life. Here are a few things that we can do to help people with academic or occupational problems. First, we can talk that person through something. For example, when I say, I talked my friend through the lessons, I mean I explained the lesson carefully and clearly to my friend. Or, I helped my friend to rehearse the presentation over and over again. I gave him constructive feedback. That means I pointed out problems or mistakes or shortcomings in the performance so that my friend knew and fixed the mistakes. Or I encouraged him to go the extra mile and not to give up. Go the extra mile is an idiom that means make extra effort. Last but not least, how you felt after helping that person. Well, I think before we talk about how we felt after helping someone, we should talk about just a little bit about how we felt when we were helping someone. For example, you can say, well, that was exhausting. I was fatigued because of sleep deprivation. I had to sacrifice my leisure time to help him, but it was totally worth it. Fatigued means exhausted. And if something is worth it, it's useful or enjoyable, although it can be a little bit difficult, tiring. A sense of self-fulfillment is the satisfaction that you have when you achieve something you want. Find pleasure in means find joy, happiness in. You can say, giving him a helping hand gave me a sense of self-fulfillment. Or you can say, I felt pleasure in giving people a helping hand. Or, honestly, I was really happy that I could be of service to him. I could be of use to my friend. Happiness shared is happiness multiplied. Multiply means increase significantly. You reap what you sow is a proverb that means people will treat you exactly the same as the way you treated those people. If you're nice to them, they will be very nice to you. If you treat them badly, they or somebody else will treat you really badly. To put yourself out for somebody means to sacrifice yourself or to help people despite some inconvenience or difficulties. To give up oneself means to provide your time, your money for someone to help that person. Well, that's it for today. I'm glad that I can be of service to you, and hopefully you can take advantage of all of these vocabularies and apply them in your own talk. I'm really looking forward to that. See you in the next lesson. Bye!